Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Chris Allen with your weather podcast for this December 17th. It was nice to see the sun returning to the area yesterday, and today we'll see more sunshine, but with a few more clouds. We're watching an upper-level disturbance, a weak cold front, if you will, moving through the area this morning, even seeing a little bit of light precipitation off to the northeast of us. Up around Metro Louisville and over toward Frankfort, Lexington, getting a little bit of light snow flurry activity, and because temperatures are just warm enough, some of that is light rain. Not a big deal, but some of you northeast of Bowling Green may find a little bit of that passing through this morning with the passage of that cold front. And it will be slightly cooler today than yesterday. In fact, yesterday was a bonus. We made it all the way up to 51 degrees yesterday. We didn't think we would get quite that warm because of the cloud cover that we had early in the day, but things really just improved, and a more southerly wind shot us up there, so that was nice to feel. I mean, be able to get outside and feel like it's just not so chilly. But it was breezy, and that made it feel a little bit cool. It'll be breezy again today. So 51, the official high temperature yesterday for Bowling Green. 47 is the average high for the day. So we were 4 degrees above average for a change. 30 was our low. 29 is the average low. So we were 1 degree above average there. And a year ago, we had a high of 64 and a low of 53 back in 2012. No precipitation past 24 hours. Today, we've got that, as mentioned, upper-level disturbance, a little wave passing through. It's just a weak cold front, but near the northeastern corner of the front or near the low-pressure system, there is a little bit of light precipitation, not a big deal. We're just going to notice a few more clouds today with the sunshine, but it will be breezy. That will be the impact on you today, besides a little bit of light rain or sprinkles off to the northeast. Those of you living over toward the Green River Lake area, maybe up toward Taylorsville Lake, you may find a little bit of light precipitation this morning or toward midday. But the biggest impact today will be the breezy conditions. West wind at 15, gusting to 20, maybe 25 miles per hour. And we're going to see a high today of 46. A little bit cooler than yesterday. Tonight, though, that feature moves on. Things settle down. High pressure takes over. Mainly clear, but colder this evening, down to 29 under a light wind and a clear sky. Wednesday, though, as the high-pressure center moves a little further east, we get a more southerly flow kicking back into gear, and that's going to help us warm up to 53 under a sunny sky. Thursday, we will see a mostly sunny start, but this marks the approach of the next storm system that will have a pretty good effect on our weather for the upcoming weekend. It is going to be a rainmaker for sure, and maybe a thunderstorm maker on top of that. As we get into Thursday, we'll start with a little bit of sunshine, but increasing clouds. The winds will pick up from the south. We're going to see a high around 60 degrees. That would be 13 degrees above average. It's going to feel nice with that southerly wind. But by late Thursday night, rain begins to move into the area, and I can tell you with just looking at the temperature profiles here, everything that we're going to get is going to be rain, and there may be lots of it. Looking at some of the preliminary forecast as far as rainfall here in the Mid-South region, we have the potential here during the course of the weekend of picking up 2 to 3 inches of rain. Some locations may pick up a little bit more, especially along and north of the Ohio River, and it's going to be warm enough there, too, to keep it all rain. This is going to be a very warm system for this time of the year. And the concern there is along, of course, the Ohio, the Wabash rivers, even down the Mississippi, the Tennessee River, Kentucky River, Green River, all the rivers that go in. There could be some concern there where folks have been dealing, with a snowpack off to the north of us, that some melting will take place, and then the additional rainfall, well, we could be looking at some flooding problems as we get into the weekend. Maybe not so much here in southern Kentucky, but certainly off to the north of us. That's going to become an impact for sure. So as we get into Friday, we're looking at a 60% chance that you'll get rain and even some thunderstorm activity with a high of 63 and breezy southwest winds. Some heavy rainfall, drenching downpours at times Friday night. All day Saturday, 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Some of those actually could be strong. That's another component that we'll have to watch right now. The SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, has not outlined any area under a risk, but I would look for that to go up in the next 24 hours. At least a slight risk for some severe thunderstorms out of this. 62 will be the high on Saturday, and by the way, that's the first day of winter, or that's when winter begins officially at 11 a.m. Central Time Saturday morning. But we're going to have thunderstorms at a high of 62 that day. So this is why I say Mother Nature never pays attention to boundaries or the calendar. She just doesn't. She's got a mind of her own, as we have seen, have been witness to here. And the heavy rain potential continues Saturday night into Sunday, at least the first half of Sunday. And that cold front, which pretty much parks itself over our area for the weekend, finally begins to move east Sunday afternoon. We'll see a morning high of 58, a 60% chance of rain, and then temperatures falling down into the 30s by Sunday night. But the models right now showing that the best moisture will be gone by the time the cold air arrives. So we're not concerned with winter weather on this particular system, just a ton of rain. So the impacts here, gusty winds, heavy rainfall, flooding potential, and maybe some strong to severe storms during the course of the weekend. So that's what you need to prepare for. This is your official heads up. We're not really calling for a severe weather outbreak, but those places that get a lot of water and flooding, your potential has just been raised. Your bar has been raised a little bit more. Those of you that live on a back road with a low water ford, or the bridge just covers over, and there's a lot of them around here, a lot of back roads where you get Trammell Creek and Drakes Creek and some of those places that the roads go, like Woody Atkinson Road, and there's a couple of those roads out there like that. You get covered over with water, and they're impassable. You just can't go the usual way home. And that's going to be the case again this weekend, so go ahead and prepare for that. Now, as we get into Monday, it'll be partly sunny but colder with a high of 41. So it will get colder just a couple of days before Christmas. The trend is it's going to cool back down. So this warm spell that we're looking at, warm and wet spell that's coming, is only going to last temporarily. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Morning Podcast. And yesterday, started our experiment with pushing the blog post to later in the morning, around 9 a.m. I'm going to try to stick to that. Got a lot of positive response yesterday to the new format, which includes a lot more graphics. The things that I talk about here in the podcast, you can actually see visibly. Look at a map, look at a graphic. Trying to keep it short and simple, but add more graphics, more detail, and talk about potential impact. Again, that's what these words mean nothing if they're not applied. So when you hear the forecast, you can hear a forecast about heavy rain, but if you don't pay attention to the potential impacts, then it's no good to you. If you don't do anything about it, it's really no good to you, and it could be even costly for property and life if you don't pay attention. So making the blog updated a little bit more geared toward that direction, and so far some good feedback on that, and I appreciate that so much. In the meantime, as we always say, and this is why we do what we do, know the weather before it knows you. Have a great day. I'll see you live at 5:30 on AM Kentucky and streaming live to WBKO.com.